Welcome to another informative session of the New England Job Show. Today's guest is Bob McIntosh of the Lowell, Massachusetts Career Center, who'll give us some vital LinkedIn tips. Bob?
Welcome to the Career Center of Lowell. This is Advanced LinkedIn Profile. We're here to talk about building your profile, which really is the most important part of your LinkedIn involvement. Okay? Without a good profile, it's like not having a good resume. It won't do you much good in the job search. So we are going to talk today about the purpose of the LinkedIn profile, penetrating the hidden job market. Okay, because now a lot of employers are enabling the hidden job market. How are we going to penetrate the hidden job market? The snapshot. This is the first area employers and other networkers will see. It's very important that you're able to grab the viewer's attention quickly so that they want to read the rest of your profile. We're going to talk about the summary. Okay, the summary is important. I put a lot of value in the summary. Some might not, but the summary is basically telling your story. And then the experience section. That's your work history. Recommendations. The importance of writing recommendations and receiving recommendations. And then finally, applications. And what we're really looking at is how we're branding ourselves on LinkedIn. Your profile is not your resume. In other words, your resume has a very special purpose, and that's to be sent to an employer to target positions. Okay, it's meant to be modified for each and every job that you apply to, whereas the profile is more creative. Okay, the profile is more of a stagnant document, but it is a way for you to network. We want the people who visit our profile to stay on our profile. And we're not only talking about employers, we're also talking about fellow networkers, because that's important. LinkedIn is a networking application, and in order to network effectively, we need to have networkers, right? Build your online personal branding. And this is where I'd like to know what your definition of personal branding is.
Your strengths?
Okay, your strengths. And your strengths in terms of who they could benefit?
Yeah, I'm thinking more of job skills.
Okay, so your job skills and how they could benefit, say, the employer, correct?
Yeah.
Some people refer to your branding statement as your reputation and how you consistently spread your reputation. In other words, offering the employer an ideal candidate for a job. Okay. But we have to be consistent with our branding, and we have to put our branding out there in the best light we can. And then we want to strive for 100% completion. Now, where do people fall down mostly with 100% completion? Where do they sort of fail in that area? Okay, recommendations. That's what a lot of people say in this workshop. I'll tell you one thing, though. LinkedIn now does not consider recommendations part of that equation. They did, though. They did. You were required to have 3 recommendations. Any other guesses? Photo. Yes, exactly. The profile picture, the photo. This is where most people fail in the 100% completion because they don't have a photo. That's a great question. Why do you need a photo on your profile when you don't have it on your resume? And that's what I originally thought. Why would I put my photo on my profile if I didn't have it on my resume? And further, sorry, that's right. Exactly, because age discrimination is a big fear, and it does exist. But the thing about LinkedIn is that it is a networking application, okay? And we're going to see how the photo really enhances your profile. Without a photo, it could do some harm, okay? So the photo is one area where people are not meeting 100% completion. There are some others we'll look at. The old way that employers hired, and it is still being used today, is by sending out a job ad, receiving the resumes, and then interviewing. And I often ask people who have been through this, who have conducted this process, people who have read a lot of resumes and people who have interviewed others. And on both counts, they say that it's not really an enjoyable thing to do. Have any of you read a lot of resumes and conducted a lot of interviews? Okay. So do we have an affirmative on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And also it costs a lot of money for employers to do this. Now, which is much cheaper and which is probably more enjoyable, is to visit people's profiles and see if they have what they're looking for. And if they do, then they can invite these folks in for a discussion, which may lead to an actual interview. Very little cost to that. And also, they are able to hire from within. They're enabling the hidden job market. We only have one first impression to make. Yes?
The other day on an application, the employer asked me for my LinkedIn address.
Okay. So, the goal is to keep people on our LinkedIn profile page. Not just employers, but other networkers. How much people value their profile? This was a poll taken on LinkedIn. LinkedIn users answered this poll. Which of these three would you give up last? Your resume at 36%, your business cards at 22%, or your LinkedIn profile at 42%. So this goes to show you how much LinkedIn users value their profile. Now, we're going to talk about the snapshot, and here's an example of a snapshot. Yes?
I'm not sure what you mean by give up.
You need both your resume and you need both your profile. Because as we said earlier, the resume has a very special purpose, and that is to be sent to employers, targeted to the employer's needs. So here is a snapshot of Pat, and you can see at the top, Pat has a photo. Probably the first thing that people are going to see when they visit the profile. She has a branding title, which is pretty extensive. And then she lists her past experience. These are companies that she worked at, followed by education, recommendations, connections. She's got a good number of connections. Okay. A website. She has a website. And then her public profile. And this is what we were talking about. This is your public profile, and this is what the employer wanted from you. Okay, so he could go to your profile. He could have simply typed in your name. When we talk about the photo, it is the first thing that visitors are going to see. And the photo is another way to brand yourself. People recognize you by seeing your photo. As a matter of fact, if you look at your homepage a lot, you will immediately recognize people based on their photo. You don't even have to read their name. Okay? So the question is what do you prefer? This gray box right here, or this picture of a beautiful woman? I would prefer the one on the right. Okay? And in fact, when I see a profile that doesn't have a photo, I'm a little reluctant to open it. Do any of you feel the same way? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Yeah, a photo sort of gives you warmth, doesn't it? So, what are some of the benefits of the photo? Well, it captures the type of person you are. It makes you look like a leader, perhaps. Sincere. Assertive. I just viewed a profile today of someone who I had just met online, and his photo looked very, very creative, and I told him so. So I got the impression that this was a very creative person. Builds a more personal connection and increases your social appeal. And also, it gives recruiters and employer a sense of assurance because you don't look like you're hiding anything. And that's the other thing about not having a photo, is that some people get the sense that you're hiding. And it may be, in fact, that you're hiding your age. But LinkedIn has formed this community that really believes that you should not be afraid of that you should display yourself. So a lot of people ask, well, how do I make myself look younger? You could color your hair. I had a customer who did that, and it looked very natural. It made him look about 10 years younger. I think the most important thing, though, is to have a quality photo. Okay? So what type of photo do you want? Well, you could have a very professional photo, or you could have something that's a little more casual. Another poll taken on LinkedIn. What type of profile photo is most appropriate for LinkedIn users? 49% said suited and booted, highly professional. 48% said relaxed, casual, the real you. And then 1% said no profile picture at all.
Thanks, Bob. Be sure to visit nejs.org for the other segments in Bob's series, as well as all of our latest job-seeking information. Bye for now.